Okay, everyone recognizes our beautiful campus, right? It still looks great. It just has a little bit of snow and ice on it. And so I always want to start by reminding us about our guiding principles. And that is that the university maintains financial stability, that our students, faculty, and staff remain healthy, that the university sustains the integrity and quality of education and degrees for the next generation of professional leaders and model citizens, and that we continue to serve as a viable, important educational resource for the community. This is very important. And then I like to remind everyone that we are in the midst of preparing for the 2021 submission of the 10-year HLC accreditation review. And many faculty and staff are working so hard to create this document so that Shepherd will shine. Also, at the same time, we have the review of benchmarks and progress related to our strategic plan, which is entitled Transforming Our Future. Now, I'm going to spend the next few slides addressing one of the questions about COVID-19 and our expenditures, but I want to start by showing you our report card for the COVID-19 dashboard as of Monday, yesterday. So the confirmed cases since we've been keeping track, so say since last March, we have 198 cases total. At the current time, individuals quarantined on campus, we have 4 individuals, quarantined off campus, 20 individuals. Now this number is represented by those individuals who have COVID, as well as those individuals who were exposed to individuals who had COVID. Everyone has to be quarantined. But the actual number of active cases is 10. And this is broken down into 1 employee, and this should say 9 students, okay? So that would equal 10. Student suspensions, there we are with 2. So this gives us a clear idea of where we've been since last March. And I will just say it is remarkable. Our numbers are very low. We have maintained as safe as possible a campus as we could. And right now, Shelley Wetzel, the director of marketing, I asked her yesterday to look at the percentage of our cases since last March compared to all other West Virginia schools and our other peers in our area, Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania, and DC. I think it's important to be able to tell the story about how successful we've been. And Shelley, your picture just popped up. Thank you so much for agreeing to do that. You're muted.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you for your willingness to do that. Also, I want to share with everyone that just about every single day, Shelley looks at the national report of all major COVID-19 outbreaks and situations throughout the United States in all institutions. And she gathers the most important information and she shares that with the leadership. And that has been very, very helpful to gauge our success and maybe to look ahead at some of the challenges. So Shelley, thank you again for doing that.
You're welcome.
Okay, so really a special acknowledgement. This would not be possible without so many individuals. Of course, the chair of the Campus Health Task Force, Holly Morgan Fry, our facility staff, the Jefferson County Health Department, Kay Dart, Chase Molden, Michael Mendez, our nursing students, faculty and staff, and community members. I cannot tell you how many community members share vital information with me on a daily basis that might be helpful to us at Shepherd. So these collective efforts have allowed the production of all these PPE items for the N95 mask model, for designing and creating hundreds of protective acrylic screens. It's just been fantastic to see our talent protect us in this way. And then keeping our campus healthy and protected with testing, vaccine administration, and again, vital information. We have so many people to thank. So let's look at how much money Shepherd has spent to date. All right. So to date, we have spent a little over $900,000 keeping our campus safe. At this point, only about $252,000 of this total amount has been reimbursed. Let's look at enrollment, because this is an area that we all need to think about and contribute to. We're going to specifically look at a comparison and the trend that has occurred over the last 10 years. And then we're going to look at spring enrollment, and we're going to look at so far the projections for fall. So if we look at the highlighted yellow area, FY 11-12, we look specifically at total degree-seeking enrollment, those students. It's about 4,000. But if we look at degree-seeking and also non-degree seeking, the total university enrollment in FY 11-12 was a little over 4,300. Now, spring forward by about 10 years. And we look at the fall census for FY 2021, and we see a little over 2,600 total degree-seeking students and total enrollment a little over 3,100. So for the drop in total degree-seeking students is 33%. The drop, if you look at total university enrollment, is 28%. So this is a real trend, a downward trend, not unlike other universities and colleges within the United States. But this is Shepherd. We are most concerned about Shepherd. So what does our future look like for fall 21? And I would just like to add, we are so fortunate to have been able to recruit Dr. Kelly Hart here as our Vice President for Enrollment Management. Kelly and her team have been extraordinary. So here's where we are. Fall 21, let's focus on that, versus fall 20. That's what we're going to use as our benchmark. You see the number of freshman applications, transfer, readmits. So total applications for fall 21 is a little over 1,200. This time last year, it was a little over 1,800. So we're down by 600. If we look at admits, total admits for fall 21, we're a little over 800. Last fall, over 1,100. And now a very important figure for deposits, total deposits. 151 for fall 21, this time last year, 254. So this is sobering. This is transparency of where we are right now. Now, we're very lucky that Shelley Wetzel joined us. And I hope Shelley thinks that. She joined us right at COVID. COVID was just starting to blossom. And Kelly said, geez, this sounds like a great place to join. It's my alma mater. I'm coming to help you. So here's what Shelley is leading. Shelley is leading the effort for Vision Point marketing. Shepherd University is investing $319,000 for marketing and branding of the university because we plan to grow. We're not going to sit back and continue to decrease in enrollment. We plan to grow. Vision Point Marketing, and Shelley has met with them on numerous occasions, and Shelley has an entire marketing and branding committee, quite large of a committee, And so the whole group participates. But Vision Point Marketing won the competitive bid process to help Shepherd specifically focus on strengthening our student recruitment, polishing and elevating the Shepherd brand, collecting and using market research to develop new strategies. So Vision Point Marketing is undertaking focus sessions with stakeholders to identify and exploit Shepherd's strengths and exploit perceptions. Exploring perceptions is important because, as we're finding out, Shepherd means different things to different people, and that's okay. We love the diversity of ideas and perceptions, but we want to be able to capture that with a very exciting description of who we are. Vision Point Marketing will provide market research, analysis of competitors, and market perception to assist us in increasing enrollment. This is a major financial investment in our future, and the amount of money for this investment has already been accounted for in the budget that I just showed you. So that's important. So what are we doing at Shepherd from the academic perspective to meet the growth predictions for the Eastern Panhandle economic outlook from 2021 to 2025? And I have to say that the Eastern Panhandle has been described and shown through predictions to be the economic driver of the state of West Virginia. So this is very exciting. We have to do our part. Now, the areas for growth predictions are as follows: tourism and hospitality, professional and business services, manufacturing, education and health services, financial activities, construction. And I think each of us has an example of how this is occurring in our area. So based on these predictions, reading the tea leaves, Shepherd is positioning itself to take advantage of these growth predictors. So what are we doing? We are getting involved with a public-private partnership, as you know, with Glenmark Developers, a group that is based in Morgantown. This is what we like to call a transformational project, because we are looking at the East Campus Loop on our campus here, and we see right across from the Bavarian Inn that we're going to have an extended stay facility, that we are going to renovate our dining hall to serve as another business, maybe for student health services, maybe for other businesses as well, that we're going to have apartment complexes available for our staff and faculty, and a daycare center as well. And so there are many different opportunities and business office opportunities to come to our campus. So again, talking about the economic catalyst that Shepherd can be, we look at this particular area. Just to show you the architectural rendering of what this is going to look like. Here we're looking at the extended stay facility. It's easy to spot the dining hall. Not much is planned for that with respect to vertical growth. It's going to stay, as far as we understand, its current size. So it has a lovely garden level facility, as well as the main floor. And this is a picture of what the apartment complexes would look like. And just to remind us, to have a window view overlooking the Potomac is going to be gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. So let's look at the composition of the advisory councils. I have appointed 2 advisory councils, and these are all our stakeholders, and hopefully they are reaching out to each and all of you. So the Campus Advisory Council, as shown here, our chair is Dr. Jeff Groff. You can see all the membership here, student members, staff members, faculty, everyone. The Community Advisory Council is a little bit smaller, and these individuals, chaired by Bob Jensenius, who's a Shepherd alum. It's very important that this group is able to reach out to different community members and ask for their opinions. So we see the mayor, Cindy Kittner from Jefferson Security Bank. She's a president. Naeem Mohammed, a town resident and Shepherd alum. Harriet Pearson. I appointed Harriet Pearson because she is the publisher of the Observer. And I thought it would be very important to have that avenue for communications throughout the community. Also, she is remarkably accomplished, an attorney, worked in Washington, D.C. A number of years. And we have several colleagues in common from that time. Meredith Waite, a cherished town merchant, great advisor. She was on the RFP committee that ended up selecting Glenmark. So she has a good background in this area. So the new initiatives and partnerships based on transformational opportunities, establishing a hospitality program with Glenmark developers. Dr. Ben Martz, Dean of the College of Business, has made a lot of progress in this particular area. So what this means is that our students who could be trained in hospitality could have their experience right here on campus in the extended stay facility. Also, we're advancing an aviation program in partnership with Nick Deal, Executive Director and CEO of the Eastern West Virginia Regional Airport Authority. This is a very exciting opportunity to be able to train the next generation of either airport authority managers and or pilots. Partnering with statewide insurance companies. Again, Dr. Ben Martz and the College of Business have done this. This has been funded by statewide insurance companies to develop a risk management insurance program to train the next generation of insurance agents. A Center for Financial Education also has been created to provide financial planning advice throughout the state and local community. And again, that is based in the College of Business through some remarkable donors in this area through the Hoxton family. Also, I think we've all appreciated that we've established a Center of Excellence for Photobiomodulation to train healthcare providers how to manage pain with low-level light administration. And this is a viable alternative to opioids. Why is this important? Well, this has been in existence for about 2 years. Our nursing students and faculty are being trained on how to use this technology. They've been successful. They have written publications, peer-reviewed publications in this space. But really what this does for us, it allows us to be competitive for opioid settlement funds. And I've been working very closely with the Attorney General, Patrick Morrissey, as well as Stephen Skinner, a local attorney, in how Shepherd can access those funds. So right now, the case has been made for these funds to go to WVU, Marshall, Osteopathic School, and Shepherd has their proposal in. So Shepherd is named as one of the 4. When these funds become available, Shepherd will hopefully be able to realize opioid settlement funds because of what we're doing. Now, reading the tea leaves, recently approved new academic programs, you see the list here. And you see it's very important: political communication, criminal justice, nutrition, nurse practitioner, specifically in the area of psychiatric mental health. This is an area that is growing so rapidly that we really wanted to make sure that our nursing students can graduate with very specialized training to be able to practice once they graduate and help community members and nationwide. You see here Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science in Appalachian Studies as well, something indigenous to our area. So just a couple more slides. I wanted to thank specifically our distinguished Eastern Panhandle legislators. But now I want to share with you how fortunate we are in the Eastern Panhandle, having all of these individuals, senators and delegates, and their leadership positions. Craig Blair, President of the Senate. Here we see Paul Espinosa, Majority Whip. John Hardy, Assistant Majority Whip. And what you see are their respective committees that they serve on. So we work very closely with our local Eastern Panhandle legislators in a variety of different areas, not only for state appropriations, but for many other areas as well. Seeking their advice, seeking funding opportunities, and most importantly, serving as a resource, letting them know what Shepherd has been doing and what we are capable of. So every Friday, when you read Friday highlights, all of our legislators across the state receive those Friday highlights. And every week, we will hear from one or more of our Eastern Panhandle legislators. They really appreciate being kept in the loop. So lastly, as we survive these uncertain times, I just want to thank all of you for your efforts, everything you're doing. And we hope someday soon that we will get back to a new normal and we'll be able to get together in person. So I will stop there and entertain questions through chat, whatever we'd like to do, Cecilia, however you think is best.
I think if you want to put questions in the chat, that's fine. And if you want to ask them, that's fine too. Does anyone want to ask a question?
Ken.
We're going through one of your last slides, Dr. Hendrix, was now new programs. No, they all look great actually. But about a year ago, I believe we were looking about possible teaching out of some programs, no, or else incorporating them with others and like that. How have we done on that area?
So that's a great question. I did not specifically put a slide in for that because the academic review team has spent the last, I want to say about the last 6 months under Provost Scott Beard's direction, looking at all the programs that are under enrolled, right? So since before the pandemic, because there's a lot of data there, and now throughout the pandemic. And he has quite a report and a list of these specific programs and this information is going to be discussed this week with the Board of Governors committee that oversees academics. So let me tell you one observation, one finding that is connected to this exercise. And that is you have certain faculty who teach in certain areas, certain programs, certain majors. And if those programs and majors, for example, are going to be taught out, all right, to finish, that does not mean that those faculty are not also participating in other courses that are needed across the campus and other majors. So we're looking at, we're not saving money. You know, if that is the goal, we're going to save money, we're going to teach this out, and then we're not going to need this group of individuals. That is not going to be the case. What is the case right now is pointing out that we're not making money in these under enrolled courses. And so therefore, I'll just give you an example. One of the programs that is being focused on is the Spanish program. And you can say, okay, we don't seem to have a lot of Spanish majors. However, the faculty and the leadership in that area are looking at Spanish reimagined, where Spanish becomes very important, being offered to healthcare providers, to business students, to artists. And so why that's so important is that as they go out and engage in their profession, this is an area that they need to have some competency in and background. So for those courses, and as I said, we have a list here of courses that are under enrolled, the faculty and staff associated with those programs must address how they see these disciplines being reimagined and reprogrammed in order to bring in more students. So I'm glad that you asked that, Ken. And I would say that we're at the beginning of that journey, but a lot of the data have been collected.
I'd like to point, Danielle has written a question in the chat over there asking about plans for keeping people at Shepherd retention.
Yes. So that is always a challenge, Danielle. What does an institution do when they don't have a lot of money to just offer people to stay? The most important thing that we need to do is to sit down with individuals who are looking at other job opportunities and ask them, what else would you like to do at Shepherd? I mean, we want to keep you. You're talented. We recruited you. How can we help keep you engaged and excited about the vision? And we've been able to do that in a few cases over the last year. We really have. And this entails more leadership opportunities for some individuals. Sometimes that comes with a little salary bump, and sometimes it does not, because the finances are limited. And so it's all about career goals. But I'm glad you asked that. It's something that we have to focus on, because when you recruit someone, I feel that you're making a commitment to them. And that commitment needs to be honored the best way possible.
And you have another chat question from Brian asking what the projected enrollment for the new programs are.
And could we be a little bit more specific? Which new programs?
All of them, please.
So, Brian, I don't have a crystal ball. If I did, I would do a better job predicting the weather, but I don't, and I can't tell you about enrollment at this point. The first thing that occurs with new programs, as you can imagine, is that a marketplace analysis is done, all right? So take, for example, Glenmark developers came in here and they bid on the East Campus Loop. And the first thing they said is they did a marketplace analysis and they observed that an extended stay facility was needed in this area. That's what their analysis told them. Our analysis, after Glenmark came here, suggested that we need to form a program in hospitality in order to partner with them, because that's going to be a growth area. But we don't know how many students would want to join that particular program. So it's a great question. We like to give new programs at least 3 years to get off the ground, to run and be successful, and then we look at them after that.
And there's another question in the chat from Carrie. Are new degree certificate programs going to begin in the fall semester?
That is my understanding. Now, we have Amy Speck with us, who's in the Academic Affairs Office. Amy, am I correct on that?
Right, those that have been approved through curriculum and instruction would start in the fall.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. Appreciate that. Now, there is a qualification. I think, Danielle, this is a qualification to your question. You meant students more than staff, right? But both are relevant, absolutely. So we need students here, right? Our most important client, right? That is the student. And so I would be excited to hear ideas about retention. I certainly have heard from the Student Success Academy, from TRIO, from the Center for Teaching and Learning, some great ideas that they have and programs in place to be able to retain students. But if you have additional ideas, believe me, we'd love to hear them.
Do we have any other questions for Dr. Hendrix? Any comments, suggestions?
I think Ken, but he's muted and I can't read your lips, Ken.
I just love the Zoom stuff. I think maybe possibly back in August or something, I read some newsletter from someone down there at the college. Now that, and by the way, apologize for calling it a college. No, it's just long time for me. No, most of the time it was college actually. But back in August or something, there was some discussion about the COPLAC element to the university. No, is that still relevant now? No, are we trying to look a little too much like liberal arts when maybe we're more professional studies, STEM and like that, as far as marketing goes? I know how important that is with the people in the community.
Yeah. So that's a great question, Ken. And I would say that the Vision Point analysis group is going to be talking to all the stakeholders. What do you think we are now? I would say right now, the campus is split. Half of the campus believes we're just liberal arts or just focused on liberal arts. But the other half of the campus is saying, now, wait a minute. Look at our largest enrolled programs at Shepherd, and they are very professionally oriented. So we're really more in the business of creating professional leaders. Now, Shepherd has been part of a COPLAC group, okay, COPLAC group. And the dues for membership are $9,500 plus, so close to $10,000. And I will tell you, when our piggy bank was very, very low in the fall, I only committed to half a year of membership dues, only half a year till the end of December, because I said we are not going to spend money on memberships, and it wasn't just COPLAC, it was others as well, on memberships, if we are in danger of trying to reduce the amount of employee time at work. How can you rationalize that, right, at this time? COPLAC said they understood, and it wasn't until sometime in January, this past January, where we received CARES Act funding part 2, where I sent the remaining membership dues into COPLAC and said, okay, we can afford it now, but always know that our employees and students come first. Membership dues, no. So that's kind of where we are. There are some members on our campus who take advantage of webinars, participating in conferences. Everything's by Zoom right now. But I'm glad you asked that, Ken. I think we're going to find out in the next 6 to 8 months what people think we are now, or what we've emerged into being. Yeah, I'm excited. Any other questions or comments? I didn't mean to take over your whole meeting, Cecilia, but this is so important.
That's okay. Rachel has put a question in the chat box.
Okay.
I'm just circling back to last time you were here and we were talking about the potential for if enrollment did not improve, even with the CARES Act funding, which I'm super grateful that we received because that was a lifeline. What does that look like for fall in terms of Are we still thinking we may have furlough of hours or reduction of hours? What does that look like right now? Or are we just still reading tea leaves too much and we're not at that point yet?
We're not at that point yet. We were at the point, I was very transparent about this the last time I had the privilege of talking with all of you. We were at the point in January of having to ask our employees to give up some of their time every week. And that was devastating, right? To work this hard and then to give up time. When the CARES Act Part 2 came, we were relieved. And remember what we still have out there. We are still counting on the state of West Virginia to reimburse more of that $902,000. So we still have that money coming in. We're not counting on it. Well, we should, but we're not. Okay, just in case something else should happen and Governor Justice thinks of, something that has more of an immediate need. But right now, Kelly Hart tells us she will have a much better idea about fall enrollment when we get to the end of March. So maybe the next time you invite me to give a presentation, we will know a lot more. And I'll tell you, we are doing a lot for recruitment. It's becoming very, very proactive, even though a lot of it's virtual. The Summer Start program is going to be particularly interesting, trying to bring freshmen in, whether you're coming to Shepherd or not. Start early. We're going to give you classes that will help you, credits that will transfer, stay here or go elsewhere. And the brochures that are being made for Summer Start, the first place I'm going to put them is Nutters, because everybody goes there. And while you're waiting in line, half hour for your ice cream, you can pick up a Summer Start brochure. Okay. So thanks for asking that.
Yeah. Hey, I do want to ask a question real quick, because you've talked about the budget and the CARES Act, but there is some rumor that the legislature is toying with the idea of getting rid of our income tax, and that would, one of the ideas is to make up for that by cutting higher ed. And are you concerned about that?
Yeah, I think we're all concerned about that. We asked Delegate Espinosa about that. That's why it was very important that I presented the case that we are being very frugal, with our funding here, and that we must have a state appropriation that is equal to or greater than what we're currently doing, because if we're going to be the economic driver of the state, we need funds to do that. I would say it's so uncertain at this point how this income tax bill goes forward that it's difficult to comment. And I'm not one that likes to just comment about things for the sake of commenting. So I'd say let's hold on. Delegate Espinosa and all the other delegates heard how we feel. You can't touch the promised scholarships. Please, you can't touch state appropriations, please. So that message was delivered.
Are there any other questions?